everybody, and welcome to my video on loose lead training exercises. So I'm going to be going through some different games that can help you with walking on your lead, and I'm going to be using my 7-month-old puppy Luna on this. She has had very little lead training just because I haven't had a need to yet, but it's about time she started to learn. A lot of you will be teaching younger dogs, some of you will be teaching older dogs, it doesn't matter. So in this first game, which is called the orientation game, I am just chucking a piece of food out and then marking with a yes when she turns back to me. So this is teaching her focus on me. It's teaching her value in being near me. So as you can see, she's coming back to me. I mark with another yes. Oh, not here. She got a bit distracted. But she turns back in a second. I mark with a yes, and I throw another piece of food out for another repetition. And again. So we just do this a few times. Now this next clip is a little bit later on in the same training session. So here you can see she's a little bit more understanding of the game. She goes out, she eats her piece of food, she went straight back to me, and I mark and reinforce that. And so we play that for a little bit longer. You can see each time she gets quicker and quicker at coming back to me. She understands, she's very focused on me. So this is teaching her that she's allowed to go out, but the value is with being back with me, and she gets more value in that. So I just added this clip in to show that you can play the same game with toys if you have a dog that's not particularly food motivated. Luna much prefers toys to treats. So you can see she's much more lively with this. However, I use treats because that's what most people will be using, and I just thought it's more relatable. But toys can be used as well. The game is exactly the same. She turns back, I'm marking, I'm throwing the treat. So what does this have to do with training on the lead? So same principles apply here. I've now added the lead into the equation. All my dogs are trained that when the lead is clipped front and back, that's when I want them to walk to heel, whereas it's just clipped on the back, then they're allowed to pull and sniff. So I clip the lead front and back. And then I just play the same game, obviously in a much smaller area because she's on a lead, but the principles are exactly the same. Okay, so now I'm starting to add in a step here and there, and she's coming with me, she's offering me her focus, I'm marking and reinforcing in the same way. So you're starting to see the basics here of how this is going to build up to a loose lead walk. Obviously, it's not perfect, you know, but she's starting to offer the behaviour. As soon as she looks up at me still there, I just fed her a bit by hand because she was very close to me. Most of the time I'm checking it on the floor because she prefers it that way. But, you know, so she's offering, and I'm starting to add a few more steps. You start to see this build up quite quickly. Again, later on in the same session, I'm starting to see now I'm managing to move a fair few number of steps with her offering focus and a loose lead walk before I reinforce. So at the moment I'm just keeping her on the outside of the turns. She'll find that much easier. She walks a lot quicker than I do, so the fact she's on the outside means that she can keep up her normal walking pace while my slow walk is on the inside. However, you will see in a minute that I start to increase her onto the inside. I start to walk in different paces and stuff and ask her to keep up with me. So there I walked a little bit quicker. You know, here I'm walking a little bit slower, and she's still keeping with me. And I'm now managing 5, 6, 7... anywhere up to about 10 paces with her with me before I reinforce her. This is really good for her. She finds this sort of thing and self-control really difficult. There we go, I have a little run, which is liable to get her quite excited. So we instantly go back to slow. You know, she did it very well, but I don't want to get it too exciting for her because that's something she will find easier. Now here you see me starting to add her go on the inside, and she did that really well. So I definitely made sure I marked and reinforced that one for her. And again, go on the outside, and again, keeping her focus on me, walking really nicely. So exact same game that we were playing before, just in a much, much smaller area. And it's all like that. So the only training she has done on the lead really is those couple of little sessions you saw earlier on the orientation game, and that has become this. Okay, the next game, which I don't use with Luna, but we call it the magic hand game. I'll show you with Luna, but it's not really her cup of tea. So basically in this game, as you'll see, I basically want Luna to stay underneath my hand. I have a small handful of treats, and if she's under my hand, I'm releasing treats. Now, ideally, you want a dog to be able to catch when you're playing this game, so you release a treat and they catch it straight in their mouth. Luna's not very good at catching food. It's a skill I need to work on with her. So I don't use this game with her, but I just thought I'd put it into the video because it's very useful. You can start to see again how this is going to work. Once they've been rewarded for staying under your hand, then, you know, we can start moving the hand and start dropping it. You know, I'm moving quite quickly in this video. Luna learns very quickly, and she's a collie, so she does learn a lot quicker than other breeds of dog. So it might take a lot longer with your dogs. It might not take quite so long. You know, it's just playing around and finding what works. You know, so this isn't perfect, again, far from it, but, you know, This is her first time really on being asked to loose lead walk. So the final thing I'm going to talk about today is teaching a dog to work through distractions. Now this is so important with all our dogs when we're training them, because distractions happen in real life. You know, yes, this isn't explicitly loose lead walking, but if your dog is walking on a loose lead, you're going to be asking it to walk through distractions and do as you ask past distractions. This is really good for that. So here I'm just playing with her toy. You know, I asked for a sit, I'm making sure I've got a decent drop. And here is when I ask for a down and I chuck the toy out. This is where it starts to get a bit harder for her, because now I'm going to ask from the behaviour. Now she struggles with sit, she much prefers to be in down. I did offer her a treat, she wasn't bothered, she never is when there's toys around, but I thought I'd offer. And then because she'd done as I'd asked, I then released her to go and get the toy. She had to work through the toy being there, and she had to do something. Now, the amount I will ask her to do depends on different things. She really struggled on this day. So there I asked for a hand touch and then released her to the toy. Now she is on the lead. That's just so that if she breaks early for the toy, I can just step on the lead so that she can't reward herself. But, you know, she's pretty good. So there you see I stand on the lead just in case. I ask her for something else. See, there she went to go, but she listened and she actually went into a down, so I released her for that. You know, this is, like I say, something she really struggles with. She's a young dog. Self-control's really difficult for her. She is learning. She's a lot better than she was. But, you know, she's working. Again, there, my throw was rubbish. Ignore that. I released her straight away to it because my throw was horrendous. I'm not very good at throwing. It's fine. Again, same principle. And here, there was a noise going on in the background. I don't think it's coming through very well on the video, but she's a very nervous little dog. She really struggles with noises going around. Again, a lot better than she was. So there you see she's got really worried by someone making noise, so I just stand on the lead and wait for her. And then because she came back to me, I then went to play. There was no point asking her for more things, she came back to me, and she came back, so I asked her for a down again, because I thought I might get it, and she did, so I released her straight to it again. I'm making it easier for her, because the distractions are there, and she's finding it difficult, so it's only fair for me to make the game easier for her, so that she can still succeed. So there again, I asked for a down, and I got it straight away, so I reinforced it very heavily again, trying to just get her confidence back up, just make it a lot easier for her while there's a lot of noises going on, as we're now in the middle of the COVID-19 lockdown. People are doing a lot of work around. So again, I then go back to what I was doing, ask for a hand touch, ask for a watch, and then I release her to the toy. So she's starting to get the principles that, yes, she gets what she wants, but only if she does what I want first. This is something we call the pre-mat principle. It's very good for training our dogs with, because, it teaches them that, yes, we're not always the bad people. Now, this is where she really starts to struggle a bit. I ask her for a down. She's very focused on the toy, but we get there. She needed a bit of thinking time, but we got there. She did offer it eventually, and so I still release her to the toy to reward her. Like I say, there's a lot going on. She's not getting exercise as much as usual due to the fact we're on the lockdown, so she's just struggling with it all a little bit more than usual. But I thought it was important to show the not quite so good moments in as well, because we all have them in our dog training. None of them are perfect. And again, she's struggling a bit here. She's very focused on the toy. She's looking around. Again, lots of noises. So again, I just grab the lead, try and get her focus back on me. But I don't push her too hard, and she offers the down. Yes, she's not focused on me, but she offered the down, so I released her to the toy. Like I say, she's very, very nervous dog in a lot of situations, so the fact she's offering it and willing to stay is a good thing for me. So, my training is adapted depending on what my dog is offering me at the time. There we go, and then she offered a very solid nose touch for me. Very quick nose touch. That's the one we've practiced the most, is down to a nose touch. She finds it a lot more difficult to perform the stationary behaviours after I've thrown the toy, so going into a sit or going into a down. So that's what we're then working on. But there, she offered it really quickly. Really, really pleased with that one. So I released her straight away to the toy. Didn't expect much more from her. She brought the toy back. Yes, again, we still need a little bit of work on delivering a toy directly to the hand, but it's not bad. And now I'm just making it easier for her again, because that last one she did was really good. So I'm just offering her down and then releasing her straight away, bringing her straight back into a tug. And you can play this game with food as well. It doesn't have to be done with a toy. You can chuck a bit of food out for them. See there, she broke before as I went to throw it. There we go, we're back to where we are. And again, something, noise is going on. She's gone a bit nervous again. You can see that her ears are sticking up. She's not really focused. But she comes back. She still interacts with me, which massive steps forward for her. So I just make it easier again. I ask for a hand touch and play with her again. Just make it really easy. And so like I say, yes, although this isn't explicitly loose lead walking, it all helps with your loose lead walking because she's having to work through and do as I ask through various things happening, both the positive distractions, so the toys, and the negative distractions of things happening. And again, something she's heard something she's a bit worried about. You can see that in her ears, and she's panting, and you can't really see it from here, but I know she was ware-lying a little bit as well. But so again, I did something she's very good at, which put her in a down stay and then walk away and release her to the toy. So, you know, just make everything really easy. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that all makes sense. Let me know what you think of it, and I'll try and make some more videos of these while we're all on lockdown. So thanks, and bye.